Welcome back, watch fans. Today, we have a very special episode for you today. We are reviewing the watch collection of a new aristocrat who has joined us, and that is Baron Bin Laden. That's right. I believe this is Osama Bin Laden's son. He sent me a picture. Now, this is not his picture. I took out his picture, but I think he was definitely Bin Laden's son, possibly one of the 9/11 hijackers. And this guy has some very interesting watches. And most importantly, he has joined the channel. He's become an aristocrat. And one of the benefits of the becoming an aristocrat, joining the channel, is you get, for a limited time only, a free watch collection review, which is like a $500 value. Okay, you're getting this personalized video that's going to be done for you. It's going to be immortalized, right? So, okay, what do? You just click the button that says for join, and you become a baron. So do it now. Okay, gentlemen. With that said, let's get into the collection because this is very interesting. Okay, so this is the screenshot of the email. The picture of Osama, that's actually added. That's not the guy. The guy, I'm not including this picture because I couldn't really modify it. But it's very similar. I'm pretty sure they're related. So Baron Bin Laden writes, "Good evening, Colonel. My name is Yusuf." And then, what is it? With the guy. Kindly refer to me using my first name only, as using my full name will get you demonetized. I used to have the Rolex Zombie, but my third concubine tried to perform the flaming pineapple trick. And let's just say my daughter, who was in the room at the time, now has a very expensive grief counselor. Okay, the flaming pineapple did not work out. So he says, I currently have a rose gold reversal, that's JLC, Jaeger le Coultre, and then Ellipse, Patek Philippe, Ellipse, 3848. Though the Ellipse is in for repair, so I have a picture of the same model on Chrono. So that's his model. It looks like white gold. He's got the white gold Patek Ellipse, and he's got a beautiful JLC dual time. It's a dual time JLC because look, when you're in the mountains of Afghanistan, you're hiding out, you got to know what time it is in Washington, D.C., right? You got to be prepared for when the drone strikes might happen or whatever, right? You got to know, or when you're in Yemen and you got to know what time it is in, I don't know, wherever your other partners are, other parts of the world, right? But you got to know, where the what do you call it are, right? You got to know. So, but no Rolex. He has no Rolex because we know Rolex is haram. Okay, so the question, he's got a question. I have had my eye on the Cartier Tank Americain. We'll pull it up in a second. Oh, he's got the numbers. And the JLC Odysseus. Please kindly advise on what kind of yellow gold watch would round out a three-piece collection. Yours truly, Yusuf. Okay, so let me tell you, first of all, it's a pleasure. It's to have a new aristocrat joining the channel, and let's get into it. So his JLC. Well, first of all, let's look at the Patek Philippe. Because this guy has good taste in watches. Okay, hang on a second. Let me pull this up. Let me tell you why this man is smart. Now I don't know when he bought his Patek Philippe 3848. But as I've been telling you guys for a long time now, okay, you listen to the Archie, you listen to, you lose money. You listen to Archie, you listen to the Kukistan, Bukyakistan, Chomostan. I mean, this guy knows. I mean, this guy was in the mountains of Afghanistan, right, which is not too far from Bukyakistan, Chomostan, and Kukistan, right? Look, the Patek Philippe Ellipse is on the rise. Everybody's talking about it. All the tomato can dealers, all those Muppet Boiler Room channels, they're all talking about the Ellipse. And guess what? This watch is increasing value. And look, the cheapest Ellipse 3848, roughly 12 G's. I remember this was like $8,000 only just, I don't know, a little while back, a couple of years ago. You really couldn't give away the Ellipse. It's a manual wind, by the way, which is, what every aristocrat should wear, manual wind. White gold. Now, here's the thing. His is white gold, which is a little bit. I really think it should be in yellow. That's my personal choice. I think the ellipse needs to be in yellow gold. For this shape, this is the classic ellipse 3840. I happen to have one in white gold, which is kind of it's the funky shape. What is it? 3545, I believe it is. Is it 3545? Let me see. Do I remember correctly? 3545. Yeah, there we. It's kind of like this. Oh yeah, there it is. It's like this, but in white gold with a blue dial, which is, and they're going for, yeah. I mean, roughly, it's like, this guy has had this thing up here forever. By the way, I think this is the it's beat up. No wonder it's destroyed. It's wrecked. It's wrecked. Yeah, these are, you got to be careful when you buy these. You know who's pushing these? Oh, here we go. This is what I have right here. This is the Colonel's watch. Not my watch, but very similar. But this is not. I don't think this is the original buckle. I believe this is a Fugazi buckle he's got here. Let me see what this guy has. Oh, it's in yellow gold. Yeah, it's a Fugazi buckle. I actually think this particular shape is better in white gold. This guy's, it's in yellow. Why does it look like it's in white? It's hard to tell with this lighting. No, it's his is yellow gold. Yeah, his is yellow gold. It should be white. I don't know. I just feel like there was more like horizontal shapes are better in white. Like this is very cool, except the problem is I don't really like the integrated vibe. I don't like the integrated thing here. But yeah, so oof, look at this. Oh my God, look at the price on this. What I've been telling you guys, the prices are on the increase. I don't know how does he have this crazy price? I don't know what this guy's smoking. I don't know what this guy's smoking. I don't know what some of these people what they're smoking. But 3848 classic watch. So I give that a 10. Okay, I give that a 10. So this guy, Noah is definitely a Bukyak. I mean, this guy Noah is definitely, he's from Bukyakistan. Look, I can't account for taste. I mean, look, there's certain cultural differences. There's cultural differences, like the people in Chomostan, they have certain sexual preferences, like Uncle Curly, Don Corleone, the El Duce de Chomostan. He's a typical Chomostani, right? He's got certain preferences in bathhouses, things like that, and the types of activities that go there. You got the Kukistan, you got the original Okuk, the Kukistanis, Chomostanis, Bukyakistanis. You have bad taste, Noah. You're a peasant. I mean, honestly, you should basically leave the channel. Your only hope is really to join and become a member and elevate yourself from the peasanthood. But no, the Patek Ellipse is one of the most. It's probably the most beautiful watch ever made. I'm going on the record as saying the Patek Ellipse is the most beautiful watch ever made. And you know what? This was one of the hottest watches back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s. That was the watch. Why? Because there we go. This guy is an aristocrat. Golden ratio. Well, technically it's not 100%, but it's very close. Apparently, I mean, that's from what I understand. It's not 100% the Fibonacci golden ratio, but it's very, very close. But the Ellipse is one of the most beautiful watches ever made, and it is classic Patek DNA. Why? What do we tell you guys over and over again? For Patek Philippe, you got to look for really two things, or one of these two. It's got to have one of these two to be a legitimate Patek. If it does not fit into one of these two categories, it is haram. You know what haram means? You know what a la poubelle means? You know what Bukyakistan means? You Google it. Okay, so first of all, for Patek Philippe, you got to have one of two things. That is either it's got to be elegant, which means elegant, thin, clean design, timeless, clean design. Okay, timeless, clean design. This is timeless, clean design. You may want to change the strap, maybe look something a little more contemporary, but the case, the dial is just beautiful. It's perfect. It's timeless. You couldn't tell me when this watch was made. Was it made in 1970, 1960, or 2030 or 2050. You can't tell. It's timeless, okay? So there you go. It meets the definition of Patek. The other thing is complications. So, Patek is obviously, the watches that get the big money are the complications, which are also elegant, right? Like the 70s perpetuals, things like that. Unlike the watches that some of our Chomostani and Kokistani friends are wearing today. So this watch is the absolute peak of Patek Philippe perfection. And you know what? The market has spoken. The market is telling us that, the Colonel is right. The Colonel has been telling us for years now, and this watch is up, not bigly, but roughly, I don't know, 50. No, it was like an $8,000 watch, maybe even less. You could find these sometimes for $7,000, and now they're basically doubled. They've basically doubled. So it's a beautiful watch. It's thin, it's elegant, it's beautiful, and manual wind is the way to go. So Baron Bin Laden is, again, smart man. Now the white gold, I'm not sure about. You know what else? I'll tell you what. The strap you have, Baron, is not the right strap. That strap is haram. You know what haram means? Oh no, okay, I'm sorry. No, okay, no. He's showing us actually a. That's not his watch. That's a similar watch. His is white gold. The problem with the one that he's using as an example is it's got a stitched strap. You absolutely cannot have a stitched strap on an ellipse. It's got to be a flat strap, no visible stitching, okay? It's got to be a flat strap, no visible stitching, okay? And you got to have the ellipse buckle, which he does have. Entry-level Patek. No, it's an elegant Patek. It's like you can't say what's entry-level, what's not. First of all, entry-level Patek is really the Calatrava. Well, you don't know anything. I mean, you're basically a rube. I mean, you're basically you're a serf. The Calatrava is technically, you really can't say something is entry-level in Patek. It is really. The Patek never really had entry-level watches. They never really appealed to the masses. They never did up until recent times. Only the entry-level stuff is only started happening under Thierry Stern, which is the Calatravas he started doing in the recent years with the stupid texture. All the stuff that Thierry Stern is doing. He's introduced entry-level models for guys like you, for peasants. Before this, up until Thierry Stern came in, Patek Philippe never had entry-level models. Okay, so yeah, I mean, look, the ellipse is worn by everybody. I mean, like even the Colonel has that. Up to the by AP. I don't know. AP, what AP? There's a million. Okay, now. He also has a JLC. Now this number, okay, I gotta look this up. Hang on, I'm gonna have to look up his J. I can't figure out that. It's basically the reversal dual time. It's not the new one. It's the previous one, which is a beautiful watch, stunning watch. Let me see. Before I pull it up. He's asking, should he buy a Cartier Tank American CP 1735B? Let me see. Let me see if I can look that up. Hang on, Cartier. $35 B. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is the watch. Okay, so this is the watch. He's asking. Yeah. Okay. So he's thinking of getting this watch. Okay, he's got a choice. Oh, this is actually a very interesting choice. Very interesting. The question is, do you choose between this, which is a Cartier Tank? I'm not familiar with the details, the mechanical details. Is this a manual? What is this? Oh, it is a manual. This guy's This guy's a legitimate aristocrat. He's going from manual wind watches. This guy's not a peasant like most of you low life trash. And by the way, he's got to manually wind the watch. Yeah, listen, there's something about manually winding the watch every day. You're engaged. I don't know, there's something pleasant about it. I really enjoy it. I wish I'd, like right now. I mean, I do have some, my Ellipse is manual wind. I have some manual winds, but the ones I'm wearing now are not. I think manual wind is amazing. I really do. Look, it's like an AK-47, right? When you're in the mountains of Kandahar, the AK-47. Why is it the choice of jihadis? These guys are, why is it the choice of all the revolutionaries out in the, Africa, wherever, Asia, South America? It's simple. It breaks down. You can easily fix it. Service, fix it in the field. That's why. Manual wind is what you want. I mean, if you're in Afghanistan, you watch breaks, most guys can fix a manual wind watch, right? And this is an elegant watch to wear, right? When you're sitting there in the caves over there, whatever, flying a plane into a building. This is the I don't know if this is the watch. I'd maybe go for some. I'd wear an Ellipse. I mean, I'd wear an Ellipse if I was flying a 747 to a building. I would want something elegant on the wrist. I'd wear an Ellipse. Now, he's asking about this watch, or now look, get ready for this. This guy is an aristocrat, or a JLC, Jaeger le Coultre, perpetual calendar Odysseus. Okay, at least this guy Noah understands one or three things. Okay, so wow, that's that's a real toss-up. Do you go for the Cartier? Now, I don't know that version that it's got the curve. I'm not that familiar with it. Like, I think it's kind of an interesting watch, but it's a dress watch. It's a simple dress watch. Or you get something like this, which is really under the radar. You know what this is? This is one of the cheapest perpetual calendars on the market. Odysseus. Now, I know a little bit about it. This was designed by the guy from IWC. Look at this. It's got also the date, the day, the year. It shows you the year. So every year, up until the year, I think till 2100, it'll change. So right now it'll be 25, right? November, you got your month, your day, your date, your moon phase, and you got the 24-hour indicator right there, the danger indicator, and you got a seconds hand. Which, do you need a seconds hand? I really don't like the seconds hand on perpetual calendars, because it tells me that you're a peasant who wears a watch that you're not sure is working. That's why you got to have the second hand to make sure it's still ticking. But wow, this is an original strap too. Look at this. Elegant watch. It's thin also. This is the way the watch is supposed to be made, really. Look at this. This guy comes with papers and everything. Now, most of you peasants are going to say, oh, it's an old man watch. Oh, it's this. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's this. Now, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not familiar with the mechanics of the watch. How reliable is it? Or, I'm not familiar with those things. I do know that if you over advance it or something, it has to go to service for them to. So there's a little trick. You got to be careful with it. But if you can get this for 10 grand, now, I don't know. So here's the question: if what should he get? Should he get, if he's got to get another watch? Does he get a perpetual calendar or a Cartier tank? For me, the answer is simple. This guy already has. He's got several dress watches, right? He's got the Ellipse, right? That's a simple, elegant dress watch. So you're done. You don't need another simple, elegant dress watch, okay? That's your elegant dress watch, okay? You got your dual time, which is the JLC. That's a completely different watch. It's unlike anything else. And then, you know what? If you get the perpetual calendar, you'll have everything you need. I mean, again, caveat, you'll basically have everything. That's actually an amazing collection. Although, you know, you're going to have two JLCs. It's a little, you know, two JLCs, one Patek. You know, it'd be better to have, you know, a different brand. But I would say the JLC perpetual calendar is a much better deal than the Cartier. Why? Cartier is gotten very overhyped. It's gotten very overhyped. I mean, it's an elegant watch, don't get me wrong, but you know, there's really nothing special about it. I mean, you already have a rectangular watch. You don't want to have two rectangular watches. You know what I mean? You already have the you got already the Cartier, the JLC Reverso, which is beautiful dual time, the beautiful white and the kind of chocolatey gray in the back, amazing watch. So you don't want to have really two of the same shape. And you don't need two dress watches. So this is redundant. This Cartier Americain would be a redundant watch. Nice watch, but kind of overpriced also for what it is. I really don't see the value there. I think this is interesting. You're never going to see anybody else wearing this, by the way. So now you're going to have a perpetual calendar, which is a, you know, that puts you, you're going to be that puts you solidly in the aristocrat class. A perpetual calendar is the mark of an aristocrat, right? How do you know? Because none of the Chomo-Stanis or Kakastanis have it. Well, you know, I'm sorry, no, the Bukia. There is, okay, you have a few Bukiakistanis. You got the, what's his name? You got that. But look at Archie Luxury. Archie Luxury, that's kind of the, you know, the benchmark. Archie Luxury is the benchmark of Kakistan. And he's never had a perpetual calendar. Archie's always been a peasant, basically. You know? What do you call it? Yeah, so very few people have a perpetual. The Colonel has a perpetual Patek. And nobody else really has a good perpetual in the so-called universes of the, let's call it, the Strems, right? Like, again, you have the Kakistani, you got Keslow, you got that Kakistani Keslow, who's got like a shitter Patek, like a modern, you know, again, he's got a peasant Patek with the windows. You can't have windows on a Patek. Again, it's not elegant, it's too big, it's a sloppy watch, and the value is going down, which proves it's garbage. This watch is elegant. I think this is a thumbs up on this. Make sure that your ellipse has to have a flat strap. Make sure you got the proper strap and the ellipse buckle. I hope you have an ellipse buckle and you don't have some sort of aftermarket thing you got on the streets of Kandahar. You know what I mean? We got some peasant comments. Crinkle cut, fluted. Yeah, no, I mean, the again, Rolex is kind of a peasant watch. I have, ironically, I'm wearing a Rolex on the wrist right now. I'm wearing the day date, the blue dial, because I was out, it was kind of out hiking. It's a sport watch, but this guy is not he's not working in the fields like you peasants. He's he's like what do you call it? He's what the hell is it I'm looking for? The what is it called? The not the imam, not the mufti. The what is it called? The not ayatollah, but I mean the guy's like an ayatollah. He's wearing a dress watch. Now the one thing I would advise is, again, I don't want to sound like an Archie here. It would be good though to have one kind of sport watch, because these are all dress watches, right? The JLC, in theory, they're going to claim it's kind of a sport watch, but it's not. I mean, none of these watches you can jump out of a helicopter with. You know what I mean? It's really, I mean, you could, but I would say it would be good to have one Rolex. And again, this guy has aristocratic taste. I would say like a turnograph. I would say get a turnograph, either like a vintage one on a strap, or like a late model 2008, whatever they call it, a Rolex turnograph is. Let me pull up this guy's JLC, which is a beautiful watch, just because the peasants aren't aware of this watch. Hang on. Okay, I'm not sure what the model numbers are all screwed up, but I think, hang on a second, this is not his watch. By the way, the JLC is putting out some beautiful watches right now. They're doing this new watch they have with the blue dial is, oh, here we go. I mean, that's a winner. The problem with the watch though is, I don't know, it's a little pricey. I feel, with the JLC, you always feel like, but it's I saw this in person. I had it on the wrist. It is a beautiful dial. One of the best dials JLC has ever done. The blue here is the best blue in the business. That's right. Better than AP, better than, and the white also. I mean, the pictures don't do it justice. Wow, is this a limited edition? No. Boutique edition. Here's the other problem. They don't have a deployant. No deployant. Come on. Anyway, this is, you can't really see, but it's the white of the dial is beautiful. The blue it's an amazing watch. Let's see here. The one he has is actually, by the way, also this one, Baron Bin Laden. If you're watching, I actually think this watch is great if you have the wrist and you can pull it off. Okay, this is the triple date. So you got now it does have windows, but the moon phase and the rotary, the calendar makes up for it. So you got basically an annual calendar, and the colors are amazing. The colors are absolutely out of this world. The colors are absolutely out of this world. Yeah. So here's the problem with this watch. The problem with this watch is it is just too big. I mean, you got to have either like a massive wrist. Now, and also it's top heavy, meaning like it's kind of tall, it's built up, and it kind of flops over on the wrist. I don't even explain it. You gotta really wear this watch. But the dial on this watch, kind of the sunburst, the pictures again don't do it justice. Amazing watch, but again, don't pay retail. This, if I can get this for maybe 17 grand, I'd be tempted, because even though it's a little too big, I would wear it. It's just so beautiful. I mean, it's really a work of art. It really is. So let's see. Can we find the Bin Laden watch? Oh, here we go. This is the Bin Laden watch. No, it's not. No, he's got a different one. Wait. What does he have? Wait. Let's go back. What does he have? He's got... No, he's got the duo face. He's got the... yeah, this is the previous model of the one we showed on the screen. It's the previous model, which is... It's got like a texture dial. Also, I mean, beautiful. It's a little bit thinner, I think. A little bit thinner. I mean, amazing watches. The problem is the peasants. The peasants out there. The peasants out there, they don't really appreciate these. Oh, I think this is his watch, right? Is this his watch? The problem with the model numbers that they have is so confusing. Their model numbers are just, I can't. They're too confusing. That's right. It costs millions of dollars each month to run this channel. I mean, millions each week, actually. And we rely on donations from, the peasant classes. And by the way, you too, even Noah can have a watch collection review. He probably has a box full of shitters just like Archie. But for $4.95, we're going to give him a full watch collection review video just like this. That's right. For a limited time only. Because look, I'm not going to, I'm not doing this to make $50. You know what I mean? This is like, my time is worth a lot more. I'm doing this to create some content to give back to the community, to the peasants, to lift up the peasants into the aristocracies. I'm doing this is philanthropy, okay? This is my philanthropy here. So that's right. So yeah, this is the watch. This is the Bin Laden watch right here. Great choice. I think the size is very similar to the one that we saw, right? Except the one I showed earlier is the triple calendar. And if he could pull it off, I would say get that triple calendar. I would say get the triple calendar. But again, why does JLC not get more credit for this? Because, you got lowlives out there. You got peasants who don't appreciate this. Again, the photos do not do these justice. Again, they're not paying me. They can go fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned because they haven't contributed anything to the channel. That's JLC. But they're making some beautiful watches in the Reverso line. The problem with the Reverso is you're not going to have any real appreciation. You're not going to have any upside, really, if that's important for you. That's not going to happen. Why? Because they dilute themselves by making too many peasant watches. Look at this. They make the same watch in gold as they do, and they make it in steel also. I don't want to pay 20 grand and then see some peasant wearing a steel watch. Like I don't want to see that. It's like ridiculous. So that's why they're hurting themselves. They're hurting themselves because the same watch that they make in gold, they make in steel, and it dilutes the whole brand. It really does. Not that watch. I don't think they make in steel, but like this watch, they make in gold, they make in steel, it's like too many. They're making too many models with too many metals. You got to keep it. They got to simplify it. I don't know what's wrong with these people. I'm going to send them a bill. For the valuable advice I'm giving them. Wait, what is the limited edition? Is it a limited edition? I don't know what limited edition. Anyway, also the new strap system is very good. You could change out the straps very easily. I don't know if Bin Laden has the new system, but the new system is amazing for changing out the straps. It's like in like 1 second you do it without any tools. No tools required. So that's a plus. Oh, look at this. We got another aristocrat. We got the Ugly South. We got a $10 donation. Listen, if we get another 4,999,900, and we'll have enough to help us through the week. But there it is, and we got the Green Rush. He's the one that's out there with the plate, the collection plate, collecting for the Church of High Horology. No, we don't review Seikos. No Seikos. This is a Seiko-free channel. We do discriminate. We do not discriminate on the channel. We'll accept anybody to be an aristocrat, regardless of color, race, creed, sexual orientation, even any sexual orientation. Look, some of those channels, they got a lot of lowlives. They got guys who are into bestiality, pedo stuff, all some weird stuff on those Kakistani, Chomostani, Bukyakistani channels. But this channel will take anybody. The only thing is no peasant watches, okay? We'll take the peasant, but we're not going to review any peasant watches. If you send us pictures of a box of shitter watches, you're not going to get your money back. Money not back guarantee, okay? I guarantee you're not going to get your money back. Only, that's right, support democracy. This channel is the only channel that's keeping democracy alive. Remember, democracy dies in darkness. Democracy dies in darkness. We got Baron Red, actually one of our aristocrats. See, when you become an aristocrat, you get that little thing next to your name, so everybody knows you're an aristocrat. Now, Baron Red, I want to get your opinion on Bin Laden's watches over here. Hang on a second. I don't know if you're able to hop on. If you're not able to hop on, you could, comment. But what do you think? Did you see the comments we had on some of his watches, his question about watches? And what do you think of these watches? Again, ellipse. Again, ignore the strap. I don't think he has that strap. I think it's a different strap. And he's got the beautiful JLC. Beautiful JLC, which is, look, anybody who wears this type of JLC, honestly, I mean, not this one. He has a different one. I mean, this one is beautiful. This one is a 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. I rate it that highly. He has which model here? He's got this model. He has this model here. No, not this model. He's got without the date, basically. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. I think the Baron has popped on. Oh, there he is. Baron Red, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And I think it's also the Chinese New Year, right?
It is coming up. I'll have to look at the exact date. Yeah, but it's early this year.
Yeah. What do they say? Gang Fang Shai, right? What do they say?
Oh, in Cantonese, it's Gong Hei Fat Choi.
There you go. Which means, what does it mean again? What does it mean?
It's just kind of like, I guess it's more like kind of like blessings for the new year.
Okay. Yeah, it's big. I'm hoping somebody's gonna send me a red envelope stuffed with cash. The red envelope. So, what do you think of the Bin Laden collection? Were you watching earlier?
Yeah. It's nice. It's not like it's not one of those collections where when you look at it, it's just like kind of like, it's like, all right, they're heavy hitters, but they're kind of like the hype watches. It's like you got the Royal Oaks. It's not one of those collections.
Yeah, it doesn't impress me. I mean, it's like, okay, I get it. You got some heavy hitters. Okay, you got some money, but it doesn't tell me you have any style or any like taste.
Yeah. So that this is, I mean, it's it's a nice like compact collection where he's got the amount of watches where they get regular wear. So I was looking at the lips and I was thinking, that's nice, but I think I like the one that you have better. The one where it's wider than it is.
Oh, the horizontal, tall. Yeah, the 35.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually like both. I mean, I like them both. In yellow gold, if it was yellow gold, I like this classic one, the 3848. I like most of the ellipse shapes. I really like all of them, but this is the classic. And we got the Duke. This is Duke Davidson. Duke Davidson has lifted a lot of the peasants out of the peasanthood. He's lifted a lot of peasants out of the peasanthood into the aristocracy. So he's the Duke.
All right. Yeah, I did see on a couple episodes where he was donating memberships. I saw that.
A great philanthropist.
That's right.
Now, what do you think about we talked about it. He's asking, should he get that Cartier or the Perpetual or the JLC Perpetual? I think we talked about this watch at one point.
Yeah. Okay. So generally, I'm not a fan of Cartier watches. I mean, they do have a couple of really good looking watches, but overall, and they're more of a design house. So if I were selecting between two comparable watches, that look kind of like roughly the same, I would never choose the Cartier.
Yeah, it's I would also say that this guy has basically he already has like 2 dress watches basically, right? Like
Mhm.
why does he need a third, right? Like same, you know. And this is are you familiar with this watch, with this perpetual?
No, no. This is my first time seeing that specific this specific perpetual.
This is, oh, look at this. The great philanthropist, the Duke Davidson, is gifted another watch reporter membership, lifting another peasant out of the peasanthood into the aristocracy. I like Cartier for women and gay men. Cartier, listen, Cartier could be good. It's gotten very overhyped with all the like the stupid stuff they're doing to a lot of gimmick stuff. It's getting a little bit, you know, a little too much. A little too much. Yeah. But this watch is I think I don't know the mechanic. I don't know how reliable it is and all that, but in theory, it's a great watch. It's based on the guy, the IWC guy. He designed the perpetual calendar movement.
Mhm.
And this is it shows you also the year up top. So not only the day, the date, all that stuff, but also the year, which is, I think, amazing.
Mm.
You know, that's what
Yeah,
GLC does. They
yeah.
show you the year.
They've got great movements, and it's just I mean because I still remember looking at that one watch, the limited edition one that you showed. This was like months ago now, where the entire dial rotates.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That was the world time with the tourbillon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was, yeah, that's crazy. But that's again, that's a limited edition. That's like, you know, that's, you know, a couple $100,000. You know, and also you can't really wear that watch. It's like a ridiculous, you know, it's like one of those, you know, it's like a statement watch.
mm,
I think it's like, you know, big size. It doesn't. It's one of those watches that doesn't make any sense. But it's very cool.
yeah.
Patek 50. Which one is this? The Patek 5970. I'm almost afraid. I always get these numbers mixed up, but I'm almost afraid that the Patek 5970 might be a peasant watch, and that would be terrible to insult our great donor. The 5970. Wait, this is okay. This is wait, the lugs. Yeah, this is. I hate to say this is. It's in the peasant. It's peasant adjacent. It's peasant adjacent. It's peasant adjacent. Only because, you know what, I don't like this modern look that they're doing. You know, like the fonts, the hands, the leaf hands, or whatever they call this, sword hands, whatever they call this, seconds, the lugs over here. You know, it gives off peasant vibes. I think with Patek, you got to have elegance and it's like this is a little bit too. They've done some nice chronographs, perpetual calendars before. I think they're just getting too messy now. They're getting too, like, I don't know. It bothers me. I don't know. What about you, Baron?
Yeah. Okay, so I think at some point, like every great, I guess, like house, they just run out of ideas, and so they're just making stuff just to push out watches. So
Yeah,
it's.
I think
Go
Patek
ahead.
has run out of ideas, basically.
Yeah. So it's just gonna take a while, and then they're just gonna have some designer come in that just has like all of these kind of like new ideas that are just kind of
Oh,
like maybe
you're bullish. You're bullish on a
at,
phoenix and a resurrection.
at some point. I mean, it's got to enter this lull where I guess it's just kind of like where management is worried about the business. We're kind of like just like, all right,
They're not there yet. They're not there yet.
yeah, but they have to enter that lull where
They have to feel
they
the
get
pain.
desperate. Yeah, yeah, and then they're like, all right, we have to get back to the basics, to focus on like the designs that made the company great, and then
Okay.
that's when you have the Renaissance.
No, that's a good point. That could be several years from now. I think right now they're in the kind of coasting stage. Although, on this channel we've been saying this for about 6 months now, or maybe 8 months, that Patek is basically, they've run out of ideas. They're pivoting to the peasanthood. They're doing garbage stuff, and I think other people are now starting to pick up on it, because I've noticed some of the peasant channels, some of the Kakistani channels. Are you familiar with the countries of Kakistan, Chomostan, and Bukyakistan?
I've seen a couple of your shows where you talked about it.
Yeah, so one of the Kakistanis or Chomo, this guy is actually he's a dual citizen. He's a dual citizen. Actually, no, he's multiple. He's a dual citizen. He's a citizen of Kakistan and Chomostan and Bukia. He's actually a triple citizen, and Canada, if you will. This guy's an illegal Canadian who snuck across the border. These Canadians have been ripping us off $200 billion a year, like Trump says, and either they become a state or they become slaves or something, right? But this. We're talking about, who we're talking about, right? Pillsbury Doughboy with a Taliban beard. Right?
Oh, yes, yeah.
The Pillsbury Doughboy with a Taliban beard. Now he's working for a what do you call it? Some retail store, which is giving him a budget. They're doing a high production videos, and he's doing videos basically copying a lot of our topics. He's basically he's always been a bit of a grifter. That guy's always been a grifter. And he's copying the topic. He's been talking about the topic of this, which is saying that, hey, Patek is overrated, and essentially they are, they're no longer great. They can't be considered great anymore. Although his angle was, he talked about the movements. He wasn't talking about the design. He said the movements, they haven't done any innovation, whatever. And I don't really give a shit about movements. I mean, obviously it's important to have, but it's almost like, the first thing that gets your attention is the design, right? The face, the dial, the design. That's what gets your attention. It's like a woman, right? It's the looks that get your attention first, right? Then you think about, does she cook and clean? You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, the cooking and cleaning is not the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, for Marco, little Taliban, obviously the cooking is important, But but no, this is so it's what do you call it? Let me see. Bell and Ross. Somebody's asking Bell and Ross. Oh, we can't even talk about Bell and Ross here. Bell and Ross resides with. I would say Bell and Ross is basically, it's a Chomostani watch. What do you think of, Baron? What do you think of Bell and Ross?
So they're kind of like in what, like the $3,000 to $10,000 range for their new watches, and they're just kind of like, they're like these kind of, they're kind of like chunky and blocky. It's like they're like it's like a kid's toy.
Yeah, it's kind of it's Kakistan.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of,
maybe
it's. I mean they're different. I'll give them that, but they're not. They're just not. They're not watches that an aristocrat would wear.
Yeah. It's Bell and Ross is a joke watch, basically. We can't even talk about, why are we talking about Bell and Ross? Do you think this guy should get a Rolex though? We're talking about Bin Laden.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, because it's
no, but if you're if you're a jihadi, right? Like, I mean, you're out there, in Afghanistan or whatever, right? Running around with an AK-47. I mean, are you going to wear an Ellipse with an AK-47?
That is a good question. Okay, so if I were the head jihadi, I think I would. I would stick with the Ellipse, and it will run on my faith in Patek and Allah.
That's a great point. You know what's interesting? Actually, the guy who was the head of what do you call it? Wagner Group. The Russian guy. What's his name? Prigozhin. That guy.
Yep.
He was pictured. The guy ran Wagner Group, and he's basically what do you call it? A professional. I mean, it's a mercenary group. I mean, he's out there he was getting out there with the in the field. He wasn't just sitting in the office, right? This guy was out there in the field, and but he was also he was like ran in businesses, but he actually was pictured wearing. Guess what watch he would wear? I mean, again, Russian oligarch. What watch did the Russian oligarchs like?
Okay, they was he wearing a Breguet? Was he wearing a Breguet?
Close.
Okay, so it's Breguet, Blancpain, and Ulysse Nardin. I think those are the three.
No, it's only Breguet and Ulysse Nardin. He had a Ulysse Nardin.
All right, I can see that.
No,
was it?
Hang on, let me see. Hang on, let me see if I can find this. Hang on. Let me see if I can Google. Let me see if I can Google it. Let me see.
I don't know.
Here we go. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay.
Can you see this?
No, it's not coming up yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. So there is our man. There is our man Prigozhin, and he's got the Ulysse Nardin Michelangelo, which is what is the Michelangelo thing? What is the Michelangelo watch? And look at this. He's got. I mean, that's look at that. That's I would say pretty delicate watch. Also, let me see what it looks like. Ulysse Nardin Michelangelo. Let me see the Michelangelo. That's the watch. You see it?
Yep.
That's the Michelangelo. Yeah, you're right. If I think actually it's actually kind of a contrarian. It's a contrarian way to do it. I think what? That's actually style. That actually shows me style. That's the real deal. A guy who wears like a Patek into the field, or maybe in this JLC dual time, not some bullshit. Rolex. Got my Rolex Submariner. I got my GMT. I'm a Green Beret. No. The real guy is going to be wearing a Patek Ellipse. I think. Yeah, you're right. Actually, because that's kind of it shows taste.
Yeah.
And it shows faith in Allah, because otherwise you'd be wearing a tool watch, right?
Yeah, that's right, and that's not. I mean,
wearing a dress watch basically indicates that you have faith that you're gonna be unscathed, untouched. You're gonna be walking on clouds.
That's right. Yeah.
This is but I think though, but if you had to choose between the Ellipse and that JLC dual time that he has, again in the field, which would you wear? I mean, again, you're in Afghanistan in the cave. Which do you go with, the Ellipse or the dual time?
Okay. I think I would go with the. Sorry, we're talking about the dual face reversal, right? That one.
Yeah,
that one you're showing
on the screen. Beautiful watch. Yeah, with the dual time. Yeah, look at that right there. Two faces.
I think I would go with the.
Wow.
This is tough. Okay, so if it were a standard reverso, I would say I would go with the standard reverso. Just because it's like, if you get into some like hairy situation, you can flip it over to protect the crystal.
Oof. We may have to remove your Baron. We have to demote you.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm actually shocked you would say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think if you're on the go, I don't know. I think the Ellipse is going to be, just because it's less moving parts. I think it's going to be more shock resistant.
I would say no. Listen, I would say you need to have the dual time, the reversal. I would say JLC. I have more faith in their movement being durable. Well, that's whatever. I mean, not that the movement, the durability, but you have two time zones, right? One is the local time, right? And the other time is, you want to know what time it is, in Washington, D.C., where you got guys, flying 747s to buildings, right? You gotta have two time zones, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great watch. It's a little more also durable. No, you gotta know what's going on in the world. It shows you're a man of the world.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. Or you would just have your people keep track of everything, and you just give like the high level orders.
Yeah. But the ellipse also, but yeah, it's hang on. Okay, we got some channel comments here. Put it on a NATO strap. No, a NATO strap. NATO strap. I'd say no NATO straps. That's for Pakistanis like urban gentry. That's a very and also what's the other guy? Barking homo, barking jack off.
Okay. Oh, that brings up something else I want to talk to you about. So going back to okay, I sent you that link for that video a couple weeks back about how the rat how he bought the rodent bought
Breguet.
brigade tradition, yeah. And I saw like also not too long after I sent you that video, I saw Archie. He also traded his one of his other brigades for
all the Pakistanis and the Bukyakistanis. They're all getting into that watch because it's like it's kind of like a poor man's what did you call it? What did you call it?
So I think I did make a kind of comparison to some of the design elements for the tradition. There was a Philippe Laden watch that had some of those elements as well, where it was kind of exposed the internals, but it wasn't a skeleton.
Yeah, it's this is but it's got like kind of like cheap looking parts or something. It looks kind of like a little bit hang on a second, load on her. Yeah, it's got some cheap looking stuff, but I don't know. Listen, for 10 grand, I mean, it's not terrible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not horrible.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, it's like this is. I mean, it carries the name of Breguet. Like, why would you put something out like this? It should be amazing or nothing.
Yeah, again, there's a couple things. I don't. Oh, they don't even have a deployant. No deployant. Cost cutting measures.
So I just wonder, like, what's going on? Why is there suddenly all this interest in this watch? Like why are all these kind of grifters getting into this?
I'll tell you what it is. It's what happens. It's like a disease. It's like a peasant disease. It's one of these guys infects the others. You got patient zero, and they all kind of they're all lemmings. They're basically all lemmings. These stannies, these Kakistan, Chomostan, Bukyakistan. I mean, they're a bunch of lemmings. They all buy the same Rolex, and one guy gets this. They all, it's the same. It's a lemming culture. That's what it is.
Yeah. So on the upside, if you have one of these watches, this is your opportunity to dump.
You got to get out. This is your exit liquidity, as our good friend, the Hong Kong super collector, would call it. Exit liquidity. We got exit liquidity being provided by the what do you call it? These low lives.
Yeah, by the citizens of Chomostan and Kakistan.
Exactly. No, you got right now is the time. I think this is because what's the upside for this watch? Where is it going to go? It's like a mass produced,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, because the only other upside is unless so I think if if they do a refresh of that watch, then it'll kind of draw more attention to it, and then that's also an opportunity to exit. But otherwise, you're just betting on the yearly increase or the increase in the value of gold to kind of lift up the price of the watch.
Oh, you know what? This is interesting. Okay, so Duke Davidson is saying it's attractive to them because it's cheaper than a tomato can Rolex.
Mm.
Yeah, it is kind of right because listen, let's call 10 grand. For 10 grand, they're basically able to get like something that looks like like one of these independent brands now, right? That whole vibe. It's got that whole independent vibe. You got the Breguet name, and the skeleton. They all love skeleton watches. These Chomo standings. They love skeleton watches
Yeah.
because they think it makes them like, I don't know, like
no, because they're children. That's what children like. They like to see, it's like, oh, these fancy moving parts, like, oh, you get to see what's inside. Like, it's who cares? Who cares?
Right. No, so exactly. It's all infantile stuff, and it's the same. The same. By the way, look, the same guys who buy this watch also collect figurines.
Yeah.
You got what's his name? The Dirty Sanchez guy, Tristano. What's his name? What's that Bukiak's name? Is what do we call him? The Urban Gentry, the Dirty Sanchez mustache.
Yeah, the rodent.
The rodent. He collects figurines. There's a lot of figurine. You got Okuk collects Disney princess castles. So there's a lot of weird. Archie collects also random trinkets. It's tomato. Yeah, there we go. So that is we got and the Duke is gifted. Who is the Duke lifted out of the peasanthood? I can't see it on my panel here. I don't know who Duke. Who did you lift out of the peasanthood and into the aristocracy? By the way, Baron, while we have you, I think you mentioned. Were you doing something? Were you getting a different watch? You mentioned something. I forgot what it was. What were you doing?
So what I want to do is I want to sell my Brigade Marine in the white gold with the blue dial, and I guess. And then convert that into the same watch, but with rose gold and the silver dial.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, could you just do a trade, or you'd have to sell? That's kind of like
Okay, so I don't know, because the same dealer that I sold my other brigade to, because he expressed interest in it, but I'm not sure I'll be able to get because when you're selling to a dealer, they're always trying to scalp you. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be able.
Especially the Hungry Hippo. We heard that the Hungry Hippo is especially because he's got to feed himself. He's got to, it costs a lot to feed the Hungry Hippo. So he's got to have big margins.
Yeah.
What do the elephants eat or hippos? They eat hay or something? They eat like vegetation, right?
No. They just because they kind of live in this kind of like I don't want to call it like a marsh. They kind of live like they're in the water, so they're eating whatever kind of just grows there.
Savannah. They live in the savannah, right? Hippos. Oh, actually, hippos. What are hippos? They eat fish, you think?
They might. Because on YouTube they're always feeding them like watermelons and vegetables. So they I guess they just eat whatever gets into their mouths.
Huh. Exactly. This channel, it costs millions to run this. All right. Okay, Baron. So we're gonna wrap it up. Any final thoughts on the Bin Laden collection?
I think he's got a good collection, and I think he's just I would say just keep it as is until something just really catches his eye, and then jump on it. But I think 2025 is going to be a great year to buy watches. I think we're going to see a lot of great deals because of the upcoming economic depression that everyone's been forecasting now, probably for the past 2 years.
Oh, really? You think it's going to happen now?
It's yes, yeah. Just because it's like it feels like we're reaching a tipping point. That really? and also there's also the what everyone's been saying. Okay, so last time Trump came into office, right? Like I don't want to say it felt like they were trying to collapse the economy.
They were
to make everything look bad for Trump, and I think they're doing the same games now.
Oh, we got a big donation from P Cars, $20. I think this is the first donation from P Cars. We got big donations coming in here. No, but I think but you're actually you're kind of involved in the deep state, and you're involved in like seeing the flows of money, right? You're involved with Federal Reserve, I think, or something.
Adjacent. Okay, yeah.
So it's interesting because in theory, right now the economy actually looks pretty good. I mean, like the employment. I mean, everything looks really good. I mean, you know, you can't buy a house. There's no inventory. Rates are high, whatever. But outside of that, I mean, things are look like they're booming. And people are excited. You know, there's a positive, you know, the animal spirits for Trump. Although I'm a bit of a contrarian in a way, like, you know, it's always like I always assume, look, if everybody goes one way, it's usually the market tends to kind of go the opposite at some point, right? Like, and I think that it's sort of like there's so many people are. My only concern is like is that I'm not worried so much about the deep state because I think they're actually kind of checkmated right now. I don't think they're going to be an issue this time. I think it's just well, historically, the first year of a president's cycle is usually the economy does bad. The first year, although we, you know, with what's his name, it was good with Biden. With Trump, I don't know if you call him a first time. You know, he's technically it's a second term, so I don't. The cycle is it's kind of a weird. You know, it's a very. But also, there's a lot of, you know, there's kind of like Bitcoin is 100,000, 100 grand for a fucking air, basically. I mean, that to me is,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pure speculation. I mean, I don't know. What do you use Bitcoin for? In reality? Can you use it for anything?
I mean, it's just another asset class. It's kind of like saying, like, can you use gold for anything?
Do you?
I mean, yeah, I have Bitcoin. Okay, so regardless of if you think Bitcoin is real or not, I'm gonna say Bitcoin is real because BlackRock says it's real. That's all you need to know.
Oh, okay. No, right. That's like the right because it's the belief. It's just like the dollar. You know, why do we believe? Because there's a belief.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough money behind it where even if it wasn't real before, it's real now.
Okay. So the only thing though is it worth like? But what's behind it? What makes it worth 100,000? Because what? Because you know, I mean, it's
Okay, so the people that are in Bitcoin like from the beginning, right? Because I know some of these people, they're basically saying it's an asset class, kind of like gold, where
because
people
there's a limited amount. They made only a limited amount
yeah
of the
no, but it's not just that. Like people that were kind of into it, they were into it for different reasons. Like you've got like kind of like the anarchists that are into it because they kind of just lost belief in
right. There's a whole bunch of it attracts a whole diverse, like, you know, diverse coalition, a rainbow coalition of, you know, knuckleheads.
Yeah, but its use isn't kind of like it's just kind of like you know when you're sending money to another party, it's kind of like they like you don't really need to trust somebody to kind of like, you know, like
I mean, look, if you're sending money to you know, Bin Laden's son, you'd probably send him Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, because it can't be reversed. Like you send it, that's it. It's out. It's gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm the jury's out. I think. Listen, it's everything is very kind of bullish. Things are very, you know, you got a lot of, you know, positive things. You got a lot of innovation. You got AI. You got all sorts of stuff. But I think maybe the markets have gotten a little ahead of themselves. You know, with a lot of the optimism for Trump. You know, it's always, you know, I always say, look, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? You know, it's always like that's like a Wall Street expression. You know, buy the rumor, like, you know, and I think with Trump, the Trump trade, basically, you know, that you buy the rumor, the time to buy was, you know, when, you know, there was a possibility he might, which would have been like, you know, spring, summer, right? And now, you know, he's a week away from coming into office. I think it's almost now is the time that you want to sell because, okay, now he's got to get things done. You know, it's kind of like, where is it going to go from here? Is all of a sudden the world is going to start booming just because? I mean, I'm actually very optimistic, but you know, it's kind of like when everything is looking so rosy, I'm always a little bit like thinking, hey, what? Maybe things are looking too good, you know? Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that's a first, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but you never know. It's kind of like when Trump had on he brought on the CEO of SoftBank, you know, to do that press press release, where like he strong armed him into investing like $200 million.
I don't know. That's just that was a kind of a goof. I don't know, but you know, no, it's something is going on for sure. Something is bullish.
Yeah. So
we could have like a rough year. It's possible. It could be like, you know, I mean, listen, for example, there's a guy I respect who's kind of like a leftist. This guy, Doug Cass, who's like a hedge fund guy he's on Twitter. He's actually very accurate. He does every year he does like his like 10 predictions or something. He's actually pretty good. He's actually been he's very good at timing. He's saying like the market is very susceptible to a big correction. I mean, no major whatever, but like, major, it could be like, something, it's got to shake people out. That's the way it works. You got to shake the peasants out of these things,
Yeah, I mean, because nothing ever just goes up like, just up in a straight line.
Yeah. So, okay, with that said, in a nutshell, I'm gonna wrap up here. Before I thank the sponsors, we're gonna say, look, I think the Bin Laden collection actually is great, and I would say this is actually one of the best collections I've reviewed here, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just there's no dogs. It's a dog-free collection, and if he gets the perpetual calendar, that'd be a very unique watch. That's a very unique watch. Yeah, the Cartier, I think, would be a bit of a chasing kind of it's a little bit late in the game, the Cartier thing. But the JLC Perpetual, great choice. Although I do think he could use a good sport watch, like a good just beater watch, so to speak. Like a Rolex chronograph or something. Just as a beater. This is great. All right, so this is and again, we have to remind the peasants, this is what you get. This is one of the benefits for a limited time only when they join the channel and they become aristocrats. So that's it. So with that said, let's thank the sponsors here. Let's thank today's sponsors. We got Ugly South, $9.99. We got the Green Rush, $20. We got Major Philanthropy from Duke Davidson, and we have Peak Horse, $20, and Sam Davidson, £3. I don't know if I like the pounds anymore. The pound is really sliding, we got here doing my 10K steps like you. No, I don't do 10K steps. What 10? By the way, how much is 10,000 steps? How much is that exactly? Like, how many miles is 10,000 steps?
Probably close to 2 miles.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think. Hold on. Let me look at this. Let me Google.
Oh, yes, Chat GPT.
Okay, 2,000 steps in a mile.
Real? No way. So 10,000 steps is 5 miles?
Yeah, that's the first hit on Google is it says 2,000 steps.
Shit, 10,000 steps is 5 miles. That's a lot. They say that's what you're supposed to walk every day.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know. That's a lot. That seems like a lot. 5 miles. Who walks that much? I mean, very few people can walk that much.
Yeah. Well, it's totally doable. Like on a weekend, if you're just out and about, if you're like, in a place like New York.
I did that. I did that yesterday. I mean, I walked for like 5 hours basically, but that's like, that's a lot every day to do. Who can walk that every day? I get an hour. You can do, but 5 hours. I mean, that's like a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Almost 5 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, that's a lot actually. Yeah, that's a lot. Because I mean, also you got to figure like normal walk to whatever you do, but then also you're walking about like let's call it whatever, just in your normal day-to-day routine. But
yeah.
Still,
I mean,
how many people could do that? Very few, I think.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on what you do for a living. But if you just have a regular office job, you're probably just walking around like in the office and like to and from work, you're probably getting like a mile, maybe 2.
How many miles do you think Bin Laden does?
I don't know, because he was just holed up in the caves. He probably got in maybe like half a mile a day.
And then he was in the house. He was in the house in Pakistan.
That's right. Yeah. So like barely
Pakistan,
any.
which is Pakistan, which is not too far from Chomostan, Bukakistan, and Kyrgyzstan. I mean, it's not far off. It's it's west. It's a little bit west of those countries. Yeah. But that's it. Okay, Baron, thank you very much. Thank you to all our sponsors, our show sponsors, and to Baron, the new Baron Bin Laden as a new member. We'll see you in the next one.
Yep. Thank you. Talk to you later.